Food deficit, lack of food produced required to feed population. Food insecurity, being without reliable access to enough affordable, nutritious food. Food security, access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food to maintain a healthy and active lifestyle. Fracking, pros and cons. Cons of fracking. Water contamination. Toxic chemicals used in fracking contaminate water supply and pollution on surface. USA, near fracking sites, near Pennsylvania and New York. Dangerous levels of methane found in drinking water. Earthquakes triggered by fracking. Blackpool 2011 for a 6-year moratorium in 2019 before ban. 2.3 magnitude recording following month, and in August 2019 2.9 magnitude earthquake recorded. Industrialisation opposed by local communities due to industrialisation of rural areas. Claim fracking will result in noise pollution and heavy traffic due to hauling equipment and water waste transported by trucks. High levels of air pollution in turn. Carbon emissions. Fossil fuels extracted by fracking emit vast amounts of GHGs that contribute to and perpetuate climate crisis. Relying heavily on fracking makes it harder to meet net zero carbon emission targets by government in 2050. Environmental studies claim reductions in GHGs emissions anticipated by switching from coal to gas. Pros: job creation. Fracking jobs employment in rural areas where shale gas and oil deposits lie. An industrial review in 2014 predicted fracking could make over 660,000 jobs. Energy security. Cleaner for gas-fired power plants to makes up for wind and solar shortages. Without changing weather patterns. Natural gas from coal helps sustain strong energy supply from renewable sources. Reduce water intensity compared to coal. In the USA, the amount of water used to produce a unit of energy in the first 12 months is less half the amount used in coal extraction. Reduce coal production. UK can reduce coal production for electricity by switching to fracking. Coal is different fossil fuels in energy production. Helps improve climate crisis. Coal is dirtiest, climate crisis, and potentially meet upcoming carbon emission targets. Climate change effects. Rising global temperatures could trigger a chain of negative consequences for people. Events resulting from global temperature increase. So first, ice sheets melting. Rising sea levels. Second. Third, sea defences breach. Fourth, flooding of low-lying coastal areas, so deltas, wetlands and coral reefs. Coral islands. 5, previously populated areas no longer habitable. And 6, economic losses for farmer, house owners, companies and governments. Climate change is already having effects around the world. Climate change could have major effects on people and on the environment. So, effects on people. Climate change means weather getting more extreme, meaning more money has to be spent on predicting extreme weather events, reducing their impacts and rebuilding after them. Climate change is affecting farming in different ways around the world. Globally, some crops have suffered from climate change. Maize crops have gotten smaller due to warming in recent years. Some farmers and crops benefit from warmer conditions in high latitude farms. Rising sea levels mean low-lying and coastal areas like Maldives will be flooded more regularly. Coastal erosion will increase as sea level rise and some coastal areas will be submerged. Low crop yields could increase malnutrition, ill health and death from undernutrition, particularly in lower latitudes. Some areas could become so hot and dry they'll difficult to inhabit. Low-lying coastal areas could be lost to the sea or flood so often that they also become impossible to inhabit, leading to migration and overcrowding in the same areas. So more people effects. In some places, deaths due to heat waves have increased, but deaths due to cold has decreased. Some areas struggle to supply enough water for residents. So there's problems with water availability, changing rainfall patterns, lead to political tension, especially where rivers cross borders. Environmental effects. Other species are declining due to warming. Some coral reefs are suffering from bleaching due to increasing seawater temperatures. Warmer temperatures causes glaciers to shrink and ice sheets to melt, like Greenland to melt. The melting of ice on land, especially from Greenland to Arctic ice sheets, means water stored on land as ice returns to the oceans, causing sea levels to rise. The distribution and quality of some species could change the biodiversity and decrease. Some species living in lower latitude areas, some habitats being damaged, endangered and destroyed due to climate change. Species that have especially adapted may become extinct. Sea ice is shrinking, leading to loss of polar habitats. Precipitation patterns changing. Warming is affecting how much rain areas experience. Climate change mitigation. Global climate change has severe effects on people, the environment, including greater water insecurity, lower crop yields, increased malnutrition, shrinking glaciers, and ice caps and sea level rise. Challenge in reducing impact of climate change can be managed by two approaches: mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation, reducing, preventing greenhouse gases which cause climate change and protecting carbon sinks such as forests and oceans, dealing with the cause of a problem. Adaptation, adjusting to the environmental circumstances in their current environment circumstances. Two differences between them. Mitigation changes or reduces effects of climate change, whereas adaptation is adjusting ourselves to reduce the impact on our species on climate change. Changing UK economy. Primary, economic sectors. Primary involves selling services and skills. Secondary consists of those industries providing information services, ICT, research, development and media. Tertiary, those that take raw materials produced by primary sector and process them into manufactured goods and products. Quaternary, extracting raw materials from natural environments, so mining and farming. Why has the UK economy changed? Deindustrialisation is the main cause of it, which is defined by the decline in manufacturing industry and growth in tertiary employment. NEs like China opened their countries, so this is why deindustrialisation clause. NEs like China opened their countries to global businesses in the 1980s, making UK firms choose to move there. Many industries like coal shut down as firms choose to import some other resources from abroad, where both labour and land were cheaper. The UK and EU have strict laws for environmental pollution from businesses. This makes it expensive for tertiary and quaternary services. Some resources such as iron ore and coal have declined in availability in the UK or become uneconomic to mine, so employment is declined. So cause of deindustrialisation as well. So healthcare offices and retail industry soaring, leading to jobs in quaternary sector developing and a decline in tertiary sector and jobs in STEM. Machines and technology replacing workers and lack of investment, increasing in labour costs, leading to UK products being more expensive, so more investment overseas. Globalisation has increased in the UK.